New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Well, hello there and welcome. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. I am Reverend Michael Mangus, broadcasting live this evening from the extra secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio. That is so top secret that only one person knows where it's located. Everyone else, especially that Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, who I have some news for you here about him this week, and also that Reverend Jeff Radcliff. They do not know where the secret bunker is located, and we are going to keep it that way. Because there's sometimes I just want to just hide in the concrete bunker. Well, hi there. Good evening. We do have a wonderful show for you tonight. Please feel to interact with us here on Facebook or on YouTube. And again, all my Shay people out there, yeah, I know. You don't want to interact on either Facebook or YouTube, especially when it has to do with this show. I get it. I understand. pastormichaelmangus at gmail.com. pastormichaelmangus at gmail.com. So the purpose of our weekly get-together is to have something warm to drink. I have my Christmas mug this evening, and it's coffee this evening, Reverend Jeff. Just coffee. Well, we sit around the fire and we talk about contemporary issues from a New Thought spiritual perspective. And again, that I want us all to have a new thought about what is going on. I just, it scares me when I hear individuals saying, well, I don't want to listen to the news anymore. I get that. Just don't have the news on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And know that the news is in effect. However, that it is important to be aware so that we know how to counter it with not only our thoughts, but also our actions. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the great state of Tennessee.
You got to stop saying that.
Why?
I'm seeing stuff go down in our legislature that makes them not great.
Okay. Well, can I say greater state of West Virginia?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, but don't put the word great with Tennessee anymore, because this place is something else. There's a bill. They just introduced a bill that would level the death penalty on any woman who has an abortion.
Well, anyhow, let me finish introducing you. If you don't know him, he's the Divine Science Minister and the co-host of the Friday evening Fireside Chat, the Reverend Jeff Radcliff.
as well as co-host of Divine Science Everywhere, which is shown on New Thought Media Network, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central.
That's a shameless plug.
And 2 p.m. Mountain, because Rev Doc gets all upset if he doesn't get included in anything.
Okay, really good. Well, once again, because you weren't on the show last week, we started to get conspiracy phone calls.
Uh-oh.
Wondering what happened to Reverend Jeff. So I want to thank Batman, otherwise known as the Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson, for filling in last week. See, we had to have Batman come in.
Oh, that's okay. We've got his building down here in Nashville.
Well, we know why everyone tunes in weekly here on the Friday Evening Fireside Chat. It's not for me. It is for Reverend Jeff's story of the week.
And you know, it would have been perfect for last week, but I wasn't here, so we'll have to do it. We'll have to do it a week late.
Okay. Well, the legal department, who on Fridays, this is the last thing that they do before they leave for the bar. And I'm not talking about the legal bar. I'm talking about the bar.
Bending the elbow bar.
Yes. So before they go, our staff takes a look at your story. And they said, and I quote them, "It looks like the aftermath of the annual holiday party at the New Thought Media Network."
Well, it definitely looks like the last banquet from International New Thought Alliance that we were at together a couple years ago. Remember that one?
Now, when did you start? Now, you started the food fight, though, didn't you?
I plead the fifth.
Well, anyhow, the Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, who is going to be out of the office next week.
Ooh.
So he has put me in charge.
Uh-oh.
He told me today, he said, Reverend, he says, just don't touch the red button. Everything else should be okay, but don't touch the red button.
You don't know about the red button?
Well, yeah, I know. It's everything just goes up.
He told me what its original purpose was for, and I couldn't believe it.
Which was?
Whenever he pushes the red button, somebody brings him a Diet Pepsi.
You Rev Doc?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
You know that? He's a Diet Pepsi guy.
I thought that was Donald.
Donald likes Diet Coke, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Rev Doc likes Pepsi, so.
Okay. Well,
he's doing a diet now, which is why he needs that 0 calorie stuff.
Well, he spun the wheel of F's.
Okay.
To give you the weekly quota of F-bombs that you need.
Okay.
And the number landed on 12. Now, because you have not been using your allotted F-bombs, legal told me that 12 should be enough. However, they said that if not, I can add 3 more.
Okay.
And the news this week has been unbelievable. And as my friend Tim talks about the fire hose effect, I mean, it's just been just nuts what's been on the news. But anyhow, before we get to the news, I want to wish everyone again a happy beginning of March. That's coming up here. We are in the time of Lent, for the time of preparation here before Easter. We are also in the season of Ramadan, which is the Islamic time for prayer and fasting. And Passover this year starts on April 2nd. And my birthday this year lands on April 3rd, on Good Friday. Does that mean I have to go through the streets of Akron with the cross?
No, but you have to let your hair down, get naked, and ride a horse through town.
Now, hold it. Wasn't that, who was that? That was Joan of Arc, wasn't it?
No, it was Lady Godiva.
Lady Godiva. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so this is a time of preparation here during the month of March. So I went online to see if there was any suggested practices for the month of March. And wouldn't you know that our friends, the Catholics, had all kinds of suggestions. Some of which I had to change just a little. And I'll just read a few here. So these are 20 things you can do for Lent. So think of what you typically spend a lot of money on. Do you buy too many clothes or eat out too often? Consider fasting from one of these and maybe donate the saved money to charity. Take on 40 days of doing something particular, like saying a particular prayer each day or doing 40 acts of kindness. Pray before work. What is the first thing that you do when you get to work? You check the email. Well, consider taking 5 minutes to pray.
No, you know what? I got to stop you there.
Okay.
Because everybody I know who holds a job in the private sector prays when they get to work. Because
what do they say?
You hear the door open, and the first thing you hear is, "Oh God."
Hold on. Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Save money and donate it to charity. Spend 1 hour a week in special meditation. Go through your closet and find clothes that you can donate to someone in need. Don't just pick out the clothes that you don't like or will never wear. If you have kids, they can do the same. Maybe they could also find a new or a few toys that they would consider donating. So this is my new thought practice here. Write down 10 beliefs that you would like to change, and then write down the spiritual opposite. Repeat your new beliefs daily out loud. How does that sound?
Sounds okay. It's doable.
You're just not very enthused this evening.
I'm waiting for you to drop all those other little news shoes.
You mean the news here coming up?
Yeah. I'm preparing myself for it.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. It is time once again for the news. And now from SIN, the Spiritual Information Network, this is Reverend Frick, along with Reverend Frack.
Reverend Frickin' and Reverend Frack.
Reverend Frickin' and Reverend Frack. All right. Well, in the news today was that guy. Bill Clinton testified in the House Epstein probe, and he basically said, I did nothing wrong. And Bill Clinton answered questions from the House Oversight Committee. As a part of its Jeffrey Epstein investigation, the former president said in his opening statement that he saw nothing and did nothing wrong. The deposition was happening behind closed doors in Chappaqua, New York, although Republicans are aiming to release the video of the testimony within days, a source told CNN. And the appearance comes one day after the committee interviewed Hillary Clinton. In both of their opening remarks, the former president and also Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said that they did not understand why Hillary was asked to testify when she had no interaction at all with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Reverend Jeff, do you think that that may have been political? Curious minds want to know.
I think it probably was. They've been out after her for years.
Well, once again, that she was pretty feisty during this encounter here. The Clintons, both in their opening remarks, denounced the behavior of Jeffrey Epstein and asked for justice for the victims. You are not going to believe this. The top Democrat on the Oversight Committee slammed Republicans for asking former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton questions about UFOs and old conspiracy theories like Pizzagate during her deposition yesterday.
Well, and apparently they can't even abide by the rules that they set up, the rules of decorum that stated that this is going to be behind closed doors. And what does Lauren Boebert do? But take a few pictures and send them out to some guy to post on social media.
Well, that's expected because Lauren Boebert is from Colorado.
Well,
and they do all kinds of things in Colorado.
Yeah, but, you know.
Including my boss, the Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski. Go ahead.
Yeah, was it political from the Republicans? Yeah. And then, like I said, they couldn't even abide by their own rules. So, yeah.
Well, my guess is this, that the Dems agreed with the Republicans to depose the Clintons so that in the future, the same can be done for Donald and Melania. Now, do you think that's going to happen while they are still in office?
They have the Democrats have a better chance, I think, of flipping the House. They may be able to flip the Senate. I don't know, but they need to do both in order to get anything accomplished.
Well, I think that it's going to be very interesting. And again, that just having even the most salacious charges against Donald. And again, that the DOJ is deliberately holding files back from an interview, an FBI interview done with one of the victims. And that they are intentionally just, again, holding it back. So I don't think that's going to get him out of office, though. I think that, again, that what's going to get him out of office, or at least have him think about it, is having the Democrats go ahead and try to impeach him again. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
Well, that's a possibility I hadn't really thought too much about. Maybe he can invite more Olympic gold medal winners to the White House, and maybe a Big Mac will kick in on him. Who knows?
We'll talk about that in a moment.
Okay.
Well, the fallout continues here worldwide, including with Deepak. And this week, a statement was issued by the spiritual leader of the Centers for Spiritual Living, the Reverend Dr. Soni Cantrell Smith. It says, acknowledging Deepak Chopra's correspondence with Epstein, and CSL formally severs any ties to Chopra in education, also publications. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says that correspondence with Chopra reveals language that trivializes harm, invokes secrecy, and reflects profound power imbalance. In light of these revelations, we are taking steps to address the situation. First, out of a deep respect for the survivors of abuse and in keeping with our high ethical standards, we are removing any educational materials that we have used in the past relating to Chopra. A lot of the classes that we offer, again, have materials, again, written by Deepak Chopra. He is removed from all CSL programs and offerings. We believe it is essential that the resources that we provide as a spiritual community align fully with our commitment to safety, integrity, and spiritual empowerment for everyone. Now, you made a good point before us coming on the air. You said that nothing has been proven about Deepak.
Right.
So if something like this happened at a center with either the senior minister or a youth minister, and that, again, that there were allegations, don't you think that they would be put on leave?
Absolutely. I do. And they should be investigated to the fullest extent. Here's my issue with all these people whose names are in the files who are being... I'm going to get myself into some deep trouble here, but here goes. The views expressed are mine alone and not of any of the spiritual organizations I'm a part of. Now,
take what you like and leave the rest. Go ahead.
Just because your name shows up in the files doesn't mean you did anything wrong.
Right.
That all needs to be looked at, but I think a lot of people can be exonerated. However, I do think that they are throwing some people under the bus. They are doing the whole guilt by association thing. Now, granted, some of this stuff doesn't look good. I mean, Clinton showed up in pictures of him being in a hot tub and in a pool. Deepak said some pretty unspiritual things. Now, when it comes to Deepak, he has been a spiritual mentor and guide for a lot of people for a lot of years.
Yes.
Does him showing up in the files automatically do away with any of the good that he's done up until this point?
Well, that was part of the article that Reverend Dr. Brzezinski wrote this week for Substack. And he says that we have legal on the phone now. And also that he says that Deepak caused harm through what he was saying to Jeffrey Epstein and also his association with Jeffrey Epstein.
Right, and I get that, but like I said, the books and the teachings and the meditations from years ago, are they discredited now simply because this has come up? Or can we see this as we would look at what the Bible taught about Jesus? And the standard Christian teaching on Jesus is that he was fully God and yet fully man at the same time.
Right.
Now, there are stories in there about him that are clearly, this is just a man doing man things, doing whatever. And then there are stories in there about him where he has taken on the role of Christ and, exhibiting his full divine nature. We can't divorce the one from the other, is my point.
Okay, so but do you still hold him responsible, though, or does it warrant more investigation, no, from the emails? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely it does. But I'm not a lawyer, but
nor do you play one on TV, but go ahead.
on the internet, anybody can be anything they want to be. They can say things that they want to say because they're hiding behind the keyboard. There is relative anonymity. Okay. Here's the thing, though. With Deepak, he's not one of those anonymous people. But until it's, I mean, Rev Doc says Deepak caused harm by what he said. Maybe, but in a court of law, words are not enough to spark a person to, do something.
But still out of caution, though.
Well, right.
Out of caution that I think that, and again, Unity has done the same thing this week, is that they've put an indefinite pause on any relationship with Dr. Chopra. So, again, you're not on our listserv for CSL, but the back and forth on the minister's listserv this week was interesting. Basically, it was, send them out to the desert, or, well, we are all one, or judge not, yet thee be judged. And again, I encourage everyone to read Reverend Dr. Brzezinski's article on Substack. So the whole point is that the allegations need to be taken seriously. Mm-hmm. And again, that I was talking to Robert today, and we asked the question of, again, what would we do if one of our ministers was alleged to abuse any child or teen? If there was brought to light text messages or emails that said the same thing, wouldn't there need to be a pause in that person's ministry at that center? And again, they would be relieved of their duties and investigated by the police and also CSL. I think that what's interesting is this. Most of the self-help spiritual community has been silent. All the heavy hitters have not said anything because, again, if you speak out, you may not get the next books deal. You may not get the next conference gig. You may not get the next endorsement for your book. So as we talked about last week with Dr. Lisa Rankin, who also has a wonderful article on Substack about the whole industry. She wrote that, again, that the whole self-help / spiritual complex, which, again, generates well over $1 billion a year, has a real shadow side that needs to be taken a look at. And that we all need to examine our shadows so it doesn't affect others or ourselves in a negative manner. Your comment.
Yeah. I think that we all, like you said, should be doing some shadow work because there's been a lot of spiritual bypass going on in the spiritual community. And it's not just New Thought, but in Christianity in general, we see evidence of ministers being arrested for sexually abusing someone in their church. And I notice when it comes to talking about that stuff on social media, somebody is always quick to point out, well, that wasn't a drag queen. And that wasn't this, and that wasn't that.
Yeah,
but it was, because they're always the ones pointing the fingers at it's the drag queens that are doing this, and this is the trans people doing this, and this is the gay people doing this, and they act like they're crap doesn't stink.
No, it's the cisgender white males who do a majority of it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we need to be delving into Deepak's emails. One thing I would like to of course, I don't have the ear of anybody who's going to be doing any investigation, but I would definitely want to have them provide if there was emails emails exchanged between him and young women, those need to be brought to light, redacted, of course. And then what emails that he had shared with Donald, with Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell, what was the content of those? Just because he talks it doesn't mean he's doing it. That's why I'm saying I would like for them to definitely show whether he had exchanged emails with other women or younger women. I'd like to see the photographs. They've got pictures of Bill Clinton out there, and they've got pictures of Donald Trump out there. Surely to God, somewhere along the line, there's pictures of Deepak Chopra out there. Let's see them.
Well, again, the reason we
bring it, I do not want to defend the man either. I just want to kind of sort of take a middle ground with this.
Okay. Well, we are going to take the middle ground here by taking a break. And then we will have Reverend Jeff's story of the week. And I saw Tom Daniels this week at our broadcaster lunch, and he says that he's going to do more jingles for us.
Awesome. Very cool.
I wonder how much he's going to charge us this time.
Well, if he loves it so much, he'll give us the family discount.
The family discount? You mean You mean pro bono? Free?
That's it.
That sounds
gratis.
All right. Well, we are going to take a break here, and we'll have Reverend Jeff come back with his story of the week. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. Just wanted to let you know that this coming weekend at Summit Center for Spiritual Living, we'll have a great online service. That's at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. Grab your cup of coffee, your tea, your espresso, your chai tea, and join us. We do have one of the best services, I do believe, in New Thought, because we balance the 3 M's, and that is music, meditation, and message. And this Sunday, we will have as our special guest speaker, New Thought Media Network superstar, the Reverend Michael Mangus. I pushed the wrong button. So this is live. I pushed the wrong button. So I'll say it again. So this Sunday we're having as our speaker, the Reverend Michael Mangus. Oh, that one should be edited out. Okay, so go to summitcsl.org for more information on how to join our Zoom call and our services simulcast on the Summit Center for Spiritual Living of Akron Facebook page and also our YouTube page. Okay. We'll be right back in just a moment. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thoughts Media Network.
Come expand your spiritual journey. Join us for Just the Talk. Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Experience Unity Kitchener and Ottawa. Center for Spiritual Living Midtown. Center for Spiritual Living Denver. Unity of Garden Park. New Thought Philadelphia. The Sunshine Cathedral. Unity of Savannah. And the Ohm Center for Spiritual Living. Come unleash your spiritual potential with New Thought Media Network. Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Home Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, come be you.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
Well, Tim showed up.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey, Tim.
He said, I'm finally here. And he said he got caught up in watching the Cleveland Cavaliers.
A likely story. A likely story.
Well, another thing that's coming up is the baseball season. And Tim likes the Cleveland Guardians.
Okay. He's allowed.
Okay. So you don't like sports at all?
No, I'm not really a big sports fan if it's not like the Olympics.
Okay.
I like the Olympics.
All right.
It's variety. It's a little bit of everything.
All
I can't go through a prolonged season of one sport.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that you have all been waiting for. It is time once again for Reverend Jeff's story of the week.
Yeah, now here's the thing. Like I said a little while ago, this would have been better last week, but I wasn't here.
Right.
If you go ahead and put up my first picture, please.
All right.
The street picture, the street scene. Flung plastic beads, coins, and other trinkets can seem like treasures in the heat of a Mardi Gras moment, which was last week, if you recall correctly. But if you've ever seen the streets of New Orleans the morning after, you'd recognize only trash. If it was the night before, you'd be seeing more trash, peeing in the gutters and all kinds of weird stuff. At any rate, over 1,100 tons of garbage per year are dumped into local landfills in the New Orleans area. And countless of those plastic objects have been found time and time again clogging up their stormwater system.
Oh, no.
There's a group called Grounds Crew, and they're one of the nonprofits that's working to help reduce that kind of environmental footprint at Mardi Gras. So they operate within a coalition organized by the city's tourism association. And it's really cool. You put up I asked you not to put this picture up until I asked.
Okay. All right.
There it goes. And you wonder why I need my F-bombs.
Go ahead.
So anyway, the coalition works with the tourism association. They're called Recycle Dat. And that's what they've been trying to do. They gather up the plastic beads, the drink cans, and either try to repackage them or recycle them. Well, Grounds Crew founder Brett Davis assembled a large team of volunteers of all age groups, but he realized that the work of clearing the streets of all that toxic stuff, that cheap crap that nobody wanted, it was only just getting the city ready and prepared for the next time Mardi Gras rolled into town. So since the 2024 Mardi Gras season, he's managed to sell $1 million of interesting and or environmentally sound throws, as they call them. Davis is a New Orleans native, and he said that when he was a kid, there was always that desperation. You had to go out and catch something that came off of the parade floats at the city center. But, they made some regulations that prevented any logos or identifiable images on objects thrown from the floats. So there was no value to them anymore. And so the people who were on the floats just decided to get the the cheapest, least valuable stuff that they could afford. And that just kind of led to what they're calling bead fatigue. And now most of what's thrown from the floats is neither caught nor wanted in that, because it's not worth anything. So Davis's opinion was that this could all change if with what's thrown off the floats was actually interesting and had some value. And so now you can put up that other picture.
Oh, okay. Hold on here. Here you go.
These are members of the grounds crew, and they are creating biodegradable party favors and culturally smart alternatives, like tiny little burlap sacks with jambalaya spices, or they'll pack some of them with native flower seed mixes. And they've also got plant-based glitter as a way of cutting back on all that nasty party waste that we saw cluttering the streets. They're also working with some scientists to create seed beads. Two University of Louisiana scientists began experimenting with creating beads from algae. And one of the scientists uses a 3D printer to form the algae beads, and then he fills them with okra seeds. So this not only helps the beads break down faster as the okra germinates, but it encourages those who've got them, who catch these beads, to actually plant them. They'll get a little bit of a crop there. They have another scientist who approached the bead problem just a little bit differently. He's using the byproduct of sugarcane production. It's called bagasse. And what it is, basically, you're running your sugarcane or your sorghum through the mill, and it's extracting the juice, and it's leaving this fluffy plant material behind. And so they're using that leftover plant material to make these sugarcane beads. And they were thrown out for the first time this year. So the chief of staff for the New Orleans mayor said that the city used to measure the success of Mardi Gras based on the amount of trash that they collected. He said, but now there's a lot of reasons we have to make a change, and trying to keep some of that crap out of the landfill, that's good enough. If you remember how bad the city flooded 22 years ago when Katrina went through?
Absolutely.
Just imagine, how much worse it would have been with, all those beads clogging up everything. And I don't know, maybe they played a role in it. I don't know. But they're trying to make it better for the folks down there, cutting down on the trash and the landfill stuff. So how cool is that?
I think that is excellent. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was Reverend Jeff's story of the week. Week.
And not one F-bomb was harmed in the making of this story.
Well, I don't know. After, I think, the next couple of stories.
Uh-oh.
Did you watch the State of the Union?
Oh, fuck yes. I did.
Oh, you did?
I did. And I didn't even make it a drinking game.
Why did you?
We're always telling people they don't have to watch all the news, but they need to watch a little just to stay informed.
Okay.
I just wanted to see what kind of stupid shit he was going to come up with. And boy, howdy did he come up with a bunch.
Well, and again, now, did you do the drinking game every time he told a lie? You took a drink?
No. I'd still be drunk today if I'd done that. No, I didn't. I was not drinking that night.
So
I wanted a clear head about me.
So I went ahead and it's really interesting to see what other countries' news organizations say about the United States. So I got something from the British Broadcasting Company, and it says that Trump's theatrical State of the Union address addresses and offers little hint of any change in course.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump delivered a combative State of the Union address on Tuesday night that hailed what he said was an America turnaround for the ages. And at a time when polls suggest that many in the U.S. are dissatisfied with the current state of the nation and with Trump's leadership of it, the president offered little hint of a change of course. And early on, he welcomed the U.S. Olympic men's hockey team to the gallery, and they even held up their gold medals as Republicans chanted USA, and even Democrats stood and applauded. That was a nice thing to do. And although his record or his speech set a record for length of 107 minutes, these moments quickened the pace of the evening and fit with the president's larger theme of American patriotism, and also accomplishment. However, there was some interesting events that happened during the event, including Houston Representative Al Green being removed for the second year in a row from Congress during Trump's speech. Green, who was escorted out of President Donald Trump's address to Congress last year, held up a sign reading "Black people aren't apes" on Tuesday evening as Trump walked into the House chamber. U.S. Representative Al Green, the Houston Democrat, who's in the midst of a primary fight for his political life, was again removed from the House chamber during a speech by President DT. So minutes into Trump's State of the Union address on Tuesday in Washington, Green was escorted out. And last March, Green was also removed from the House chamber after interrupting Trump's speech to a joint session of Congress when he shouted and pointed his cane at the president. And again, he was censured over the outburst. So Tuesday evening, he held up a sign that said "Black people aren't apes." It was the reference to a racist video on Trump's social media account, posted and then deleted earlier this month, that depicted former President Barack Obama and also First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. But that wasn't the only individual that was escorted out. Representative Omar's State of the Union guest was removed and arrested during the speech. Representative Omar said that Aliyah Rahman, who was previously injured in an arrest involving federal agents, was forcibly removed and treated aggressively at the Capitol. And what happened is that she just stood and stayed silent. And so the Capitol Police took it as a protest. And they said in their statement, all State of the Union tickets clearly explain that demonstrating is prohibited, and that approximately 10:07 p.m., a person in the House gallery started demonstrating during the State of the Union address. All she did was stand and stay silent. The guest was told to sit down but refused to obey our lawful orders. It is illegal to disrupt Congress and to demonstrate in the congressional buildings. So 43-year-old Aliyah Rahman from Minneapolis, Minnesota, was arrested. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
She wasn't doing anything that the rest of the Republican or what the rest of the Democrats weren't doing, because they had already decided that they were going to stay silent during Trump's speech. Drove him crazy. You could tell it was driving him crazy, and it worked.
Well, they had it pretty crowded, though. Didn't the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, didn't he fill in the seats? That's what it looked like he did.
Yeah, well, he's he's almost done. I mean, you can stick a fork in him; he's about done. So,
yeah. So, and we were talking about this earlier, but U.S. hockey star Hillary Knight responds to Trump's distasteful joke about the women's team. Hillary Knight, the captain of the U.S. women's hockey team, responded to comments made by DT after the Americans won the gold at the Winter Olympics, the men's hockey team, calling the president's quip a distasteful joke. After the U.S. men's hockey team won gold on Sunday, Trump called into the locker room celebration and invited the players to be his guest at Tuesday's State of the Union address. And earlier at the White House, he tried to give them a heart attack by feeding them McDonald's. He said, "I must tell you, we're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that, and I do believe I'll probably would be impeached if the women's team was not invited." And several of the men's players were captured laughing at Trump's comments in the video that went viral. Knight, who is a 5-time Olympic medalist, who's one of the most decorated players in women's ice hockey history, addressed Trump's remarks on Wednesday in an appearance on SportsCenter. She said, "I thought it was sort of a distasteful joke, and unfortunately that is overshadowing a lot of the success of just women at the Olympics, caring for Team USA and having amazing gold medal feats." She also said, she says, "We're just focusing on celebrating the women in our room, the extraordinary effects, and also continue to celebrate 3 gold medals in the program's history, as well as the double gold for both the men's and the women's at the same time." And really not detract from that with a distasteful joke.
yeah, I don't know why anybody expected anything different from Trump. He's demeaned women his entire life. To downplay their accomplishment was really bad form. And they came up with a nice, polite way of refusing the invitation, but we all know they were pissed. As they
Well,
should.
wouldn't you be? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it should have been.
Again, now the men, those are professional hockey players from the NHL. And I don't know if the women were paid or not, but I don't think they're paid the same.
Probably not.
So, but again, congratulations to our ladies and also to the men who again pulled out again the first gold for Team USA since 1980, since the miracle against the Russians. So again, I just think it was just give the women their due. That's what I say. Give the women their due. They work their off, and it showed on the ice here. So again, by defeating a very tough Canadian team. All right. Are you ready for one more? And then we'll call it a night.
Make it quick.
Well, this is a nice story, though.
Okay.
I got this from the Good News Network just for you.
Oh, okay.
A teacher wins a $1 million prize for turning India's slums into hundreds of open-air classrooms. An Indian teacher who has established more than 800 learning centers across India for children who have never attended school has been named the winner of the $1 million Global Teacher Prize from GEMS Education. Located in over 100 slums and villages, Robo Nagy's classroom offers safe, inspiring spaces to help overcome the challenging conditions shaped by poverty, child labor, early marriage, and also a lack of infrastructure. So rather than seeing these realities as barriers, Ms. Nagy designed education around real life, flexible schedules for working children, hands-on learning using recycled materials, and practical skills that demonstrated the immediate value to families. And that is her working with the children in India. As a result, her program has reduced dropout rates by more than 50% and also improved the long-term school retention. Robo plans to use the $1 million prize money to build a free vocational institute and digital literacy training program to help transform the lives of millions more marginalized young people in India.
Very cool. That is love thy neighbor in action right there. And as you know, every week, Michael and I tell you that we know that this stuff is difficult to be fed day in and day out, to see it coming at you. Don't watch all the news if you don't have to. Watch enough of it so you stay informed. But please remember your spiritual practices. Pray, meditate, do some good deeds for somebody or something. Make life better, because that's what we're here for, to lift one another up.
Absolutely. And again, you don't have to start something like what this teacher did, but maybe help out a neighbor, or mentor a young person in your neighborhood, or give them the summer's coming up, so give them a summer job, or try to, again, just to spread a little love around. And again, it does not, the revolution does not have to happen by you going out there and protesting all the time. It happens by us doing acts of kindness. And that's how this whole thing's going to turn around in this country. It's not by hating our enemy.
No.
It's not by calling them names. It's by understanding that that's a political viewpoint that they hold. We don't understand why. There's been a variety of opinions why, but that, again, to do what the master teacher Jesus and the Buddha and other teachers have told us to do, and that is to love our neighbor. So, and it also means that we still go out there and, again, to protest. So,
we follow metaphysical spirituality, most of us, and that involves taking what's there in front of us and looking behind it to see, to tease out the definite truths in it, and to find the cause behind the effect we're seeing. Apply that to people. Apply that to people, and see behind their mask.
Absolutely. Well, Reverend Jeff, again, it's been another successful evening of the Friday Evening Fireside Chat.
Well, we'll know for sure on Monday.
Well, no, he's out of town.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't know.
Then.
Would you like a raise? I can, since I'll be in the office, I can go ahead and
yeah, bring it on, baby.
Okay, so I can get into the to the checkbook.
There you go.
Anyhow, well, thank you again, Reverend Jeff. Always love doing the show with you. And folks, we are out of time. And again, thank you for being with us this evening. And the reason we do the show, again, is not to dishearten you, but also to give you hope, to know that, again, that we can use our spiritual principles through these times. And again, to love our neighbor and also to use love. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. So it's not hating the other. It's not calling them names, but it's trying to get them into a conversation and say, well, that's an interesting way of putting it. Explain a little more. All right. Well, again, have a great week. We will see you next week here on the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. I am Reverend Michael, and I'm going to wish you a very pleasant good night and also have a great week.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.